All right, everybody. So we're live with just the Gi Top podcast. Today we have two guests on, actually. So making his Just the Gi Top return is Michael Liera Jr. So, Michael, thank you again for coming on.
Oh, thank you guys for having me again.
Yeah. Actually, I was just checking. So last time we had you on, Michael, was October 2013. So it's been a little bit of a while. But
Yeah.
no, it's good to have you back on. Great to have you back on. I know that you've done a lot and accomplished a lot since then, so we'll get to that. And also on, we have Clarke from Submission Series Pro. So, Kat, thank you for coming on.
Gentlemen, how you doing? I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks very much.
Not a problem at all. So, our regular podcast members, as usual, we have Ahmed Chirani.
Hello.
And we have Jordan Short.
Hello.
And we have myself, Adam Cousins. So, maybe, Kat, because it was kind of my conversation with you that got this whole thing started, maybe you could just talk a little bit about Submission Series Pro, and then we can, talk about how Michael's involved and just kind of go from there.
Sure, yeah. It's well, you guys, Submission Series Pro is kind of one of those things that everybody's kind of wanted for a long time in the jiu-jitsu world, and it's one of those things, especially here in Canada, people have needed and wanted for a long time. It's just the way of the future. It's all about exciting fights, and submission only is key. These guys train. Everybody trains 2-3 times a day, and at the end of the day, it's about the submission. And a lot of people, they still have aspirations. They want to be a world champ, and I get that, but this is a little bit different. This is, again, like you say, professional jiu-jitsu, right? So it's about, I don't know if it's about making it mainstream, but it's about getting these guys and girls their due, right? Getting some money towards, guys like Mike here that, that he puts every day, his ass in the line every day in that gym, and it's about getting paid at the end of the day, right? But so that's the whole idea of Submission Series Pro, and we're gonna go across the country in Canada first and hit obviously the big cities. We got Halifax first and on June 20th, and then we're gonna go to Mississauga on July 11th. Yeah, Michael's actually headlining our card on June 20th against Marcus Tinoco out of Marcelo Garcia's New York. So yeah, pretty happy and pretty proud to have a guy like Mike represent and headline. That's what it's about. People want to see exciting fights, and that's the whole idea.
Well, what attracted you to? Oh, sorry, Adam.
No, go ahead, Ahmed.
Are you still in the intro phase here, or am I?
Yeah, no, you're good. Keep going.
Well, so what got you interested in specifically in Michael Liera Jr.? Like, what were you looking for? Are you looking for that excitement? Are you looking for that for youth, up and comers, or?
You got it exactly. You know what I mean? It's funny. Who put me on to Liera Jr. It's Dylan Danis, who put. We spoke way back in the day. Actually, after they went back, they went to the trip to Tokyo, and I saw some of those videos. Yeah, that's right. So Dylan, those guys in New York, like Dylan and Munch and John Satava and Marcos and Gianni, like those guys have been so good to me, helping me out, and then just coming on the other side of the states, there you have Atos and like Mike and Andres and so many up and coming names. Obviously Keenan, everybody knows who Keenan is, but that's what it's about, up and coming names and guys that are already at the top against like top level guys in Toronto or Halifax or wherever it happened to be. So Mike's exciting, obviously, and that's what it's about. So.
Oh, awesome. Michael, just for you, when you were approached, did you kind of think it was kind of like too good to be true, or were you kind of skeptical, or how did it happen?
I mean, I get these types of invitations to do these super fights.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the time, where I get like some kind of organizer saying, "Oh, we'd like to have you in a super fight against this guy or that guy," and they're usually pretty good names, and then I always ask for more details and more, more about the event, and usually it just kind of falls through. And I thought the same thing about this event at first, to be honest, but after talking to Kat a little bit, it sounded all really much different than anything else that I've been approached with. And after hearing about such a good opponent as Marcos, it just all kind of lined up, and it was a good opportunity, and now I'm really excited to be a part of the event. I think it'll really be something different in the jiu-jitsu scene. You know, everyone's starting to break into like fight cards and super fights like this. So this is going to be another addition to that style of tournament or event, and I'm really excited. It's going to be a good match.
Are you making this trip specifically for this match, or you have anything else planned while you're out here? Or it's quite a ways away from home for you.
Yeah, after the event, I'm going to have some seminars and some other classes, and I'm going to be teaching out in Canada in a few different spots. But yeah, the event is the main priority of the trip.
Awesome. The one thing I was wondering, Kat, I don't know if you can go into specifics on this or whatnot, but so obviously what we're talking about here is an opportunity for professional jiu-jitsu, right? So maybe right now you're starting with 2 shows. You said Halifax, you said Mississauga, and you might branch into the States. Who knows? Is this something where you're looking to have fighters on kind of on the roster, or is it kind of like as a per need basis? Will we see Michael in 3 months from now with someone else, or have all those details not been ironed out yet?
Yeah, no, like I'm not looking to, like, you know how other, we won't go into specific names or anything, but there's other guys that are looking to kind of lock people down or whatever, but I'm not into something like that. I'm just into working with great people, and Mike and his team have been more than like just great to work with, and again, they're about moving the sport and just being good people, and that's what I'm interested in working with. And if if he's happy with us and how we accommodate him in this fight, and he'd like to come back, then hey, in 3 months' time, if he wants to come back, then hey, he's my guy, of course, no question. But I'm not one of those people. They're here for a fight, and they're here as an independent contractor, and that's the way it'll be. So he's free to do what he wants, where he wants, but for this particular weekend, he's working for Submission Series Pro.
Oh, awesome! That's great.
How many shows have you done so far now?
We just did the one, and we did it in. It's funny, in a small town. Like I'm trying to get across what I'm doing here. Like, it's funny. Some people are like, "Oh, you're in a small town, Halifax." I'm like, no, you don't realize the first show was in a town of like 4,000 people. And we sold out a venue of 300. And the entire maritime jiu-jitsu scene showed up. I bet 90% of the tickets were from people that do jiu-jitsu in the maritime. So the scene was really strong and a ton of support. And I said, if I can sell out a venue of 300 people, here in rural Nova Scotia, I can definitely sell out 500 in Halifax. So the ball just keeps rolling and rolling, and people want it. People want what kind of we're putting together here, and it's everybody. It helps because it puts people in the seats, right? It gets the local guys their dues, the local girls, the local guys, they get, a little shot at glory here that, especially out here where people don't get to travel as much, you know what I mean? They don't get sponsored and get to go to events and, tournaments and that kind of thing. So it's a big thing. So, it's about moving the sport, and Halifax, Toronto, Edmonton, wherever it happens to be, man, that's where we're going.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos from the first show, and it looked really slick. It looked like the presentation was really, really nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's funny, like, so much to learn, but the first show we had Jonathan Satava, and he fought Kyle Sanford from Titans here, and that was a really good fight. And then we had Munchie also. He fought Josh Presley, and then Michael Tremblay from BTT. He flew down as well. And all these guys get flown down by us. Like, again, that's the whole point of professional jiu-jitsu. None of these expenses are put on the fighter. They get flown in, they get put up, everything's taken care of, and all the local guys, they're getting paid too, and they get free gear, and it's about feeling like a star for that, that weekend for anybody involved, right? So
it's really cool, and actually, like that kind of treatment is, I think, going to attract a lot more competitors too. People are gonna want to do that show.
Well, it's funny because it's like Satava told me he did Copa Podio like 3 weeks before, or not even 3, maybe it was in November, and he was here in January, and he said like you blew Copa Podio out of the water, just because it's just about treating people with respect, right? And I'm not like, don't get me wrong, like Copa Podio is a leader, and they're a very, very good promotion, Like I don't, but I'm just saying like personal. Like it was nice, I think, for him to deal just with me. You know,
Yeah.
so when you have a guy that you've been talking to the whole time, and then you actually comes to fruition, and he comes through and goes above and beyond, I think people like that, right? So
Do you guys like now the first? Oh, sorry, Michael. Go ahead. Go ahead. Absolutely. Go ahead.
That's usually where all of the other events fall through is
Yeah.
transportation and just simple and basic things like that. Finding somewhere for us to stay, and of course, like the money afterwards is also a big issue too. But it's usually just the basics. It's just like how am I going to get there? Where am I going to stay? Stuff like that. And that's something that Kat's really taking care of on this side of the event, which really. It makes me on my side happy because it makes me train that much harder for the event because I know I'm going to be taken care of in that sense, So there's not very many events that I have been a part of that have taken care of me like that on that level. I've done a super fight before in Canada, and it's the same thing where you get flown in and put up, and without those kind of accommodations, it's impossible to make these events happen. So, I'm really appreciative of just those basic things.
it's really cool. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
no doubt.
Was that the 5 grappling? Was that the other one that you did in Canada?
Yeah, they took care of me on that one too. Same thing, flew me out, and I had a super fight out there. That was my first fight as a brown belt.
That's right. That was against Danis. I remember that. So, Kat, I remember last time, and I have a business idea for you guys, and and this is free of charge. You guys can have this.
Of course. 10%.
But and I've mentioned this before off air to some other people, but I noticed the first show you had was a free YouTube stream, correct?
No, it was a free HD stream, not YouTube.
I'm sorry.
That's about same thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to be picky there.
Sorry, brother. I know I was just. But are you guys doing the same thing for this one, or are you actually going to charge something? Because I personally, like, if it was a $10 stream, me personally, I would pay $10. Why not? I'm not to shortchange you. Maybe in your head you were thinking 30, but I'm just saying, like, I was just thinking, like $10. Liera Jr. is fighting anybody. I don't care. I'm like, yeah, $10. Fuck, I'll do it. I don't care. It's $10 fucking dollars. Who cares? But like, is that something that you guys are looking into? Because if so, you could make a lot more money. I'm just saying.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because again, man, like I'm for the people,
Yeah.
Man, and like the way I look at it is keep it free, man. Like it's for me, like the streamer cost me $600, whatever, who cares? Make it up there, put it up, put our fights for all ages, and put the fights up for free. That's the way to move the sport. Like I get it, pay-per-view is going to make more money, but I'll tell you, like there's a few different companies that I've spoke to, and like I won't mention names, but big names. That to run a pay-per-view is like obviously there might be some in Ontario or something that we can talk that might happen, but I really think the way to move the sport, like for kids or anything, like is just to keep it free, like a simple, like even people say, well, why don't you have an email address or anything to build a database, and it's very important to do that, and I'm a little stubborn, but I need to do that more, but I think it's just so important to keep it easy and free because people are so lazy now. Like one pop-up and people are like, oh, screw that. No, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm saying
you charge for advertising, right?
I'm
on
sorry?
the live stream. We sell advertising on the stream.
Oh, right, of course. So, so I guess you've done all your math and everything. So you figured that if you had 1,000 people watching at $10 a hit, $10,000 is not important to you, is what I'm hearing.
No. I like the I'll tell you our numbers from the last stream. We hit close to 3,500 people on our first ever stream, and I bet Mike didn't even know who we were. I'll guarantee it.
But what I'm getting is that, like, okay, you got Michael Liera Jr., who's a very got a great presence on social media. Other big guys, I'm just going to choose from people we've had on the podcast. We've had Mark Carbolito as well, a big social media presence. All these guys got big. So, and if Michael Liera will post saying, hey, this is the stream I'm going to be on, whatever, this fight card, check it out. I'm just saying, like, you're going to get a lot more than 3,500 people,
Well, and that'll happen. We're expecting our numbers to hit. We're looking for this. We're ramped up we're about 12,000 is what we can kind of hold for this stream, and we're hoping to hit that number with guys like that. But don't get me wrong. Like, I agree with you. Like, I'm just a guy on the couch, right? So I need all the money I can to keep this kind of stuff going, right? But I don't know, for these next event, we're going to stick free and kind of try to build our name a little bit, and then maybe we'll revisit that.
Good idea. I don't mean to tell you how to run your company. I know it seems like that way, man, but seriously, I really want these guys
Not
to
at all, man. Not at
good
all.
money. Like what I've said a million times before, I want, like when I'm a black belt, mind you, I'll be ducking in Masters so I don't face Liera, but I'll be ducking in Masters. But what I'm saying is that, like, somebody like that, we want to keep them away from these tournaments where we pay to play, and let them do their professional thing and leave us alone, so that we can win. You know what I mean? So, but that's why I'm really pushing for it. I think that can really be it, man. Like, I'm just saying.
I missed about the last 30 seconds. My internet cut out.
No, sorry. What I was saying, just really quick, what I'm saying is that I was really hoping that it takes off in such a way that these guys get paid, what they deserve, good cash, whatever, 100,000 salary a year, whatever it may be, if that's what the future holls.
No question.
So that they stay out of our tournaments, so that we can win. That's what I'm saying.
I like it.
Okay,
That's the thing, right? It's a little bit of a different thing, and like I was speaking to a guy today in Halifax, and like Kyle Sanford, and he was saying, everybody thinks they can roll for 15 minutes, but I'll tell you, go roll for 15 minutes in front of 300 people in a theater. It's a little bit different, right? Like the scene is a little bit different. Like, everybody's watching you, as opposed to a tournament in a gym, right? Where there's a lot of noise, and it's a little bit of a different feeling. So.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just to change gears for a quick second, as I said, Michael, last time we had you on was October 2013, so a lot has happened with you in Jiu-Jitsu since then, right? So you were a brown belt then, and I think, so 2014 last year, Pan's gold, World's gold, American Nationals gold, got your promotion to black belt. So, what's new with you in Jiu-Jitsu?
Right now there's just, trying to pick up the speed of the black belt. Right now, I've only done 2 tournaments thus far at black belt, and both of them weren't IBJJF. The first one was the 5 tournament, the second one being Hickson Cup in Japan. So a series of things just blocked me from competing at IBJJF tournaments this year, and right now I'm just excited to compete at the Worlds, and then after Worlds, head out to Canada and handle business out there.
What was the experience of the Hickson Cup like? How was that?
Hickson Cup was amazing. That's one of the most that tournament is different than any other tournament I've been a part of, just because, like, the level of respect that they have for the competitors out there is different, and also just I feel like everyone at the tournament really appreciated the art, which was different. It wasn't a bunch of people just trying to, like, scrap and fight in there. It was like a bunch of jiu-jitsu competitors coming together and, like, really sharing, the art, which was really cool. And then, of course, Japan altogether was a different vibe. So, that was a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to going back.
Was that your first time going?
I went to Japan in 2013. I believe around the same time, maybe I think it was July or September for the Copa Bull Terrier, and that time I stayed in I forget the name of the place. I stayed in Hamamatsu, which is kind of countryside of Japan. I trained out there with Satoshi and his brother Marcus Souza. So like I was in a little bit different of an area this time. I went to Tokyo, so I got to spend 2 weeks in Tokyo. So it was two completely different trips, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Very cool. I was wondering, are you planning on competing a lot more, or like you being a little bit picky about tournaments that you do these days?
Upon getting my black belt, I intended on competing all of the time. But like I said, it was just like one thing after another. I was going to do the San Francisco Open, and IBJJF closed the registration or something like that. And then I was going to go into the Pan Ams, but I got injured like literally the Monday before Pan Ams. And then it's just been like one thing after another. But as soon as everything clears up, I want to compete in as many events as I can, especially in super fight events like this. And then also I need to rank up my points for the IBJJF. Right now I have 0. So the only reason why I can do Worlds is because I won the Worlds last year as a brown belt. But other than that, I'd be screwed.
I'll give you 50 submission series points.
Yeah.
Yeah, do they accept those with the IBJJF?
I don't know what the conversion rate of is to IBJJF points, but
Hey, Michael, really quick. So it's just talking about the Worlds, right? You got that coming up end of May 20 something. I forget when it is. And obviously, every dream of every jiu-jitsu athlete right now is to win Worlds, but not just that. They want to win it at black belt. Obviously, you're going through a camp right now, I'm assuming, right? I always see that there's like some camps going on at Atos and some training camps and whatnot. But can you take us through a little bit of some of your training and what you're doing to prepare for such an event?
I mean, training's pretty simple. Just sparring in the morning, sparring at night.
Is that your dog, man, or is that?
Yeah, that's my dog. She's chasing birds outside or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, training's been, we approach training pretty basically. Like we just spar as much as we can, so twice a day, and then we do our strength and conditioning 2 or 3 times a week, and then drill as much as we can in between those times. So. I mean, it's not. There's no secret to it, really.
Let's get to the real question, because that was a very good answer. But because I know we've asked you many times. If anybody never caught our previous Michael Liera episode, check it out. Adam, I don't know what episode that was, but we go really into training and all that detail. But who exactly in that division right now?
I think it was like episode 17.
17, okay. Who exactly in that division? Is there anybody, like, do you game plan for anyone in particular? I'm not going to ask you to name names, but do you ever do that, or is it all just like you're just training? It doesn't matter who it is. It could be so-and-so, it could be so-and-so. You don't care. You got one way. Or do you actually watch footage and tape? Especially at black belt, man. Like, this got some killers there.
Yeah, my mindset changes pretty much daily. Like, some days I really focus on the top stars, like, Lanky and Lepre, and then some days I just approach jiu-jitsu as, jiu-jitsu itself. I just go in there and try to train as hard as I can. I do like to study the top guys. Even today I spent like 2 hours just on YouTube just watching, but I try not to worry too much. Most of it's just studying. I like to watch what the guys are doing and then go into the gym and keep that in mind. So obviously Lepre and Lanky have been the top dogs for a while, but even I think it was today Lanky lost to a guy that just got his black belt with me. He's the same generation as I am. I beat him last year at Pans. So I know at any given day, these guys can fall.
Absolutely. Awesome. Kat, sorry, Kat. Just going back to really quick. Do you look at when you're picking your your people for your card right now? So, for example, Liera and whatnot. Are you looking at people who are winning? Like the IBJJF is technically not really your I guess competition, right?
No.
So, are you looking at people who do really well, fare well in IBJJF? Like, who's an ideal candidate for you? Is it people, like, if people listening right now and they want you to call them to fly them all over the world or whatever?
Yep.
What is it that they need to do, really? Like, obviously, Liera has got some excellent international exposure, some great titles. You know, he got his brown belt. He went undefeated his brown belt in his weight class, I believe. You know, so. Yeah. Like, do you look for these accolades? Do you get people that got like, yeah? Well, what's your criteria?
No question. That's, you know, obviously that's one of the biggest things, right? Because if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna gain international attention, then that's a huge thing. You have to have international stars attached to your promotion. So, you know, a guy like Michael Liera Jr. and Marcos and John Satava and, you know, any of those guys, they're big names, and especially here in Nova Scotia, or not so much for you guys in Ontario because you guys compete a lot against those guys, but it's more some, you know, like if you're an international competitor, you do really well at the brown belt or even purple belt or black belt level. But more importantly, if you're a good person, you know, the jiu-jitsu scene's very small, and I've kind of made some really good connections, and it's all about, you know, word of mouth too, right? Like, it's, you know, I want good people. I don't want to deal with people who are going to give me trouble and, you know, be a pain in the butt. You know, I want people who are going to be easy to deal with, going to represent their club and represent jiu-jitsu well, and put on a good show and sell some tickets and move on and maybe compete again down the road. And so, you know, anybody is really on the radar. Like, to answer your question, like, you know, there's I probably know everybody on Michael's roster at the competition team at Atos. Like there's just so many guys there that could compete. You know, there just really is. But who knows? You know, it's anybody puts in the word or shoots me a message or whatever. You know, that's what it's about. So.
Well, I will put in a good word for Ahmed, who did win the Ontario Open yesterday at brown belt. So,
congrats.
Well,
it's okay, thank you, but no, I don't want anything to do with it. No.
Ahmed sells himself so hard.
Yeah,
it was his first tournament at brown.
He literally got his brown belt like a few weeks ago.
And he's just so disappointed with the gold medal he got yesterday.
Yeah, no.
Does he not win everything up there? Didn't you just win Pan Ams as well?
I did.
Yeah. Pan's champion. It's no big
Masters, though. That's Masters. I keep telling people. I did the old man league, like, but no, seriously, it was, yeah, no, just to touch on that, like, somebody was attacking my foot for a toe hold, and I kind of froze, like what? This is legal now? But anyway,
Ahmed, I will vouch for that. Ahmed had the most panicked look on his face I've ever seen on anybody ever.
I don't believe footholds are really real jiu-jitsu, but so we're not. So yeah. So just really quick with you, Kat. Now for the show in Halifax, for the show in, no, I'm serious. I'm going somewhere with this. So the show in Halifax it's coming up, right? Do you know? For those who don't know, for our American listeners, which is mostly most of our audience, in Canada we have this law where if you listen to a really bad radio station, the law is, a CRTC, I believe, makes us play Canadian content even though it's bad. So you must have certain percentage of artists on the radio who are Canadian artists who are not good, but you must do it by law.
Is that part of the criteria? Like they
no, they're
like
not good, but they're purposely cutting off the good music they can play, and they play Canadian hip hop, which is like what struggles does a Canadian have? But anyway,
classified as an East Coast boy, Kat may not take kindly to that.
So anyway, Kat, where I'm going with this is, do you feel an obligation to have Canadian opponents for some of the guys that you're bringing in from the States, just to show that, hey, I'm not turning my back on the country? Like, I'm not even I'm not exaggerating. I'm being straight up honest, because people are gonna criticize you, saying, "Oh, look at him. He's just flying in a lot of international people and ignoring our homegrown talent." I'm just Like, I'm dead serious. Serious question.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's funny. Like, you know, you look at the first event. You know, it was you know, Kyle fought Satava. This event, it was I don't know. Like, you know, I guess there was a couple different names we threw out there for Liera, but it's you look at every single card. There's I don't know 80% Canadians on the card. But are you speaking just main event? Is that what you're speaking about, or the entire card?
I guess I meant main
Because
event.
Ahmed, I believe we do have two Canadian Just the Gi Top alumnus, Chris Lee Byrne and Arthur Chandra Mohan on the card in Toronto. Is that correct, Kat?
Yeah, that's the whole. There's only I'll tell you there's 4 Americans on the next card. That's it. In Toronto. The rest of the guys.
I think Ahmed just wanted to make that point to take a dig at Canadian music. I think that's what that was all about, actually.
No, seriously, I just realized I may have just compared some of our jiu-jitsu talent to bad Canadian music, and I didn't mean it to come across. I didn't mean it to come across that way in any means. So like, don't get mad at me for that. But what I'm saying is that it's like the status quo. You need to fit. You must have 50% Canadians. You must have. Hey, women's an issue too, right? Like you must have. Like, do you have women on your cards coming up? Like stuff like that. Like me personally, I think you should just get the best of the best, whoever they are. They could be Canadian, Chinese, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, like, is that something you've thought about? Like, you have to fill this quota because
no, I don't take race or citizenship into.
Okay,
account.
good. No, it's good.
No,
I didn't mean. Never mind.
Although Ahmed, you do in a very like roundabout and terrible way raise a good point. Have you you know with some other and I'll name names with Metamoris coming under some heat for not having any female fights on any of their cards. Have you had any female fights on your cards, or do you plan to, or what's the story there?
There was none on the January card, but there is a fight on the upcoming card in June. It will be Christina Royal Fader is from Halifax here. She's actually competing against Sarah the Bully Smith out of Toronto.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so I'm going to fly Sarah in. She's going to compete against Christine, and that'll be a female match. And then actually our in Toronto, the Tiffany Bayless will be competing on the card against a girl to be named at a very short date. And then our September card will be actually headlined by a female, Alison Tremblay. Obviously you guys know who she is, and I won't drop a name, but it's one of the top names in the female jiu-jitsu world. She's going to come in to Canada and compete against Alison, so to headline that card. So yeah, we're definitely all about females and youth. I'm looking at possibly having some. Yeah, that sounded bad.
Is that what's keeping Ahmed off the card?
I don't want. I can ref for you if you'd like. I can be a referee, but that's about it.
There's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Kat, you handled that a lot better than Halleck did. That's
What's that?
You handled that question a lot better than Halleck did.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a debacle. Okay, no, but seriously, man. Honestly, I just want to say, I've said it before. I'm super stoked for you, especially this event, especially that it's Michael Liera Jr. It's too bad it's in Halifax. It's too far away from me. But if you could make something like that in Toronto, who's headlining Toronto? Or Mississauga, sorry, which is near Toronto.
By the way, hey, Ahmed.
Yeah.
There's a free live stream.
Oh, I know, but I want to see it in person.
You know about the internet, Ahmed.
No.
Ahmed will pay $10, but if you tell him it's free, he'll probably know.
Yeah, I might not watch it if it's free, man. You should I'll put $10 to your PayPal, man. Seriously, but I saw the way you're doing it, and it's very interesting. You're doing it like a boxing show, where they have like tables, right? And all the tables surround the matted area. Is that how you're doing it?
No.
I'm thinking something else. Okay, so So how are you doing the seating? Explain the venue to us then. So
We do it. We do it. Our last venue was a little bit different because it was in a local, again, a small venue. But we do the next. They're in Broadway style theaters. So the one here in Halifax is a 600-seat Broadway style theater that faces down onto the mats, and we actually bought brand new set of mats on yesterday. I just made the purchase from Sama Mats, and up there in Ontario, and it's going to look really slick. And then in Ontario, we're using the Meadowvale Theatre in Mississauga, and that's kind of the same concept, like a really nice Broadway-style theater with facing down on the mat. So no, it's not like boxing or Metamoris or anything like that. It's we kind of figured cost-wise, we looked at both options, and we just kind of, it gives it a really, really nice look when you can, it's clean when, the curtains close, the curtains open, and the fighters are there. It gives it a real nice crisp look when you're live, and so we like that.
Excellent. May I ask a question to Michael about the opponent? So Michael, when you're approached by Kat about possible opponents, do you, obviously you accept if you want to take it or not. Is there a certain criteria you look for, or do you just say, yeah, I'll match up with anybody, I don't care? Because I mean, like, you're a big name, right? Like a lot of people stand to gain a lot from facing you, and maybe not vice versa. So.
Yeah, I mean, usually when it comes to the super fights and picking an opponent, I need help because, pretty much anyone Kat said, I was like, yeah, I'll fight him, that's fine. but I talked to my dad, and we review it further, and we try to see what's the best possible opportunity for, what's going on. Because to me, it was just like, why not? Yeah, I'll go up against him, I'll fight him. I haven't fought him yet, and I'm excited. Yeah, there's a little bit more that goes into it where we sit down and think about, how big of a name the opponent is, and
of course.
And the opportunity and everything. But yeah, if it was just me, I'd be saying yes to everything for free.
That's awesome.
So, too bad. It's bad. I almost had him here for free.
Yeah. Oh, I'll fly down on my own. Yeah, that's like,
I just heard Ahmed was gonna pay $10, and I was like, yeah, I'm down.
I'll put $10 in your PayPal. Email me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Just one comment for you, Michael, if I may. We have a comment from Keenan Cornelius, and I don't know if it's the real Keenan Cornelius, but he commented on the video, and I'll read it out. Well. So this is why you couldn't play me in Super Smash Brothers. I see where your priorities lie. So you're a big Smash Brothers fan?
Yeah, I'm a big Smash Bros. Player. We were just playing. We spent all day yesterday playing. My girlfriend's super upset.
That's awesome, man. That's good to know. So Michael Liera Jr. is into video games as well. That's great.
My phone is literally right here, and I'm getting text messages from him saying, "Why aren't we smashing right now?"
It's funny.
There's like a little going on at the gym. Like me, Andres, he's into it too. He plays as Duck Hunt or Little Mac. Keenan plays as Bowser or Sonic, and then I'm mainly Link or Charizard.
Link.
Yeah. But just to set the record straight, I'm the champion amongst the group.
Yeah.
I killed this guy.
Well, yeah, maybe this will be the the boost that we've needed to get Keenan on the show. Maybe he has to defend his honor in Super Smash Brothers on the Just Keep.
We'll stream that match. We'll stream the match.
For $10.
But Michael, let me just tell you, there's actually more money in video games than there is in jiu-jitsu. You should get it. Like, you should become like a professional video game player. I swear to God, if you're that good,
That good.
Man, you go to Korea. You go to Korea, man. They treat you like a king over there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Ahmed is actually really excited that we're talking about video games right now. I can see it in his eyes. He's just like he's glowing. Because I know Ahmed's a huge video game fan, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned at one point about possibly doing a video game podcast.
He's just trying to turn this into a video game podcast.
I've had ideas. I've told these guys before. I've had ideas like, what's a good way to reach a broad audience? Jiu-jitsu has a good audience, Kat, and I like what you're doing. It's reaching like thousands of people, and thousands. That's the thing. Is it in the hundreds of thousands? Maybe not yet. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I also like video games is in the millions. Like millions of people. You go to any YouTube walkthrough video of any game. I'm playing Bloodborne right now on the PS4. It's just really, it's a great game. Yeah, Bloodborne. Yeah, it's like a Demon Souls, type style. So if I need a walkthrough, you look at a little 5-minute walkthrough clip. It's got like 3 million views, right? And you can have Liera Jr. fighting to the death in a knife fight in jiu-jitsu, and it might get like 100,000 views. You know what I mean?
That's a cool idea, actually.
That's right. Right. So what I was saying is like, how can we broaden it? And video games is one of them. I'm like, well, let's get some like adult actresses on. I thought maybe if I could tie that into jiu-jitsu somehow, I could reach a huge audience. But Adam,
are there some porn stars out there doing jiu-jitsu?
There must be one who does it for fitness, and I would spin it into a Helio Gracie thing or something. But anyway, I'm done. Kat, I'm sorry, I went way off topic. Michael, I love that you play.
I have to deal with this all of the time, people. You don't even understand.
I just want to reach a bigger reach, man.
Like, he'll send me a message. Adam, I've got an idea. We should have porn stars on the podcast. I'm like, Ahmed, that's not a good idea.
I'm telling you, you would see the views go up into the millions. I kid you not. If you had, I don't know, just Jenna Hayes, who's retired now, or Jada. Anyway, I don't want to kill it, but it's a whole. Anyway, I'm done, man. Kat, I love what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing. And Michael Liera, you got the best. Like in a way, you're like an ambassador, man. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. That's a great yeah, that's awesome. Anyway.
Hey, Kat, I wanted to ask you, where exactly do you train?
Oh man, I can't even. That's hilarious. That was awesome. What? Where do I train at Titans for the most part, but
under Jared McIntosh, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
so
I train.
I was there a couple of years ago in Pictou, and I dropped in, and I thought you looked familiar, and I think we may have even rolled.
Oh, really?
You're a purple belt, right?
No, I'm blue belt.
Oh, like a couple of years ago, maybe? Oh, okay. No, I'm trying to think, because I rolled with a few people when I was there. You did look familiar. I don't know, maybe we rolled.
Jordan.
That was probably before we built our new.
Yeah, it was in the theater, and we were sweating up there.
Oh, it was awful. Yeah, it was. It's funny because we've in the last, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years, we've moved into so many different clubs and just little random places that we've rented and stuff. And Jared's one of those guys. He's just the classiest guy out there, and he's just changed my life in so many good ways. He's a great guy for the sport. There's no ego, there's no bullshit. There's, as you know, you were there. It's pretty humbling when you're training inside a theater. You know what I mean? So it was just really cool. It was cool, welcoming for me, and yeah. So you know what our clubs are all about. So it's nice.
No, it's cool. I had the opportunity to get choked out a bunch by Jared too.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's really good.
Kat, were you guys? Because actually, I was in Halifax about 2 years ago, and I trained at a Titans, and it was in it was an old auto body shop in a commercial strip mall.
Yeah, that would have been that's Titans Halifax. So how it works is there's a Titans Halifax, and then we call ourselves Titans Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and we're kind of an affiliate. But
okay.
I train a lot between the two. But yeah, the one in Halifax, they've also recently moved as well, but they're that's kind of more like Gavin Tucker and Mike Malott and those guys. That's where they train out of, or Josh Presley, or any of those guys.
Dude, I wish I could queue in and say I've been to Halifax, but I've never been. I know somewhere on the East Coast, but
Oh, well, I got a card in September. I know a guy that we
oh,
can get him the card. Boom.
well, there you go. Awesome. All right.
Can-Am champ.
Yeah, you give me some names and I'll say yes or no to them. If they're a big enough name for me, then
Yeah,
maybe I'll do it. But yeah, man, no, guys, it's been awesome having you guys on. I can't wait to when I edit the video and release it, saying Kat Clarke and Michael Liera Jr. talk porn stars with just a gi top. It's gonna be, it's gonna go through the roof, man. But before
in porn stars.
before sorry, I was gonna say before we drop off, I was wondering, like, you guys obviously you have the floor, right? So let's start with Michael Liera Jr. You know, anything you want to plug, any sponsors, of course, any events coming up, etc.
Thank you guys for having me first. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. And then also thank you, Kat, for the opportunity. I'm really excited to be facing Marcos Tinoco. And obviously thank you to all my sponsors, Shoyerol and Bedouin. And until next time, guys, thank you.
Awesome. Kat, go ahead, man.
Pretty much the same, guys. I'd like to obviously thank you guys for kind of helping spread the word, man. Like, again, a little guy from the East Coast here, so you guys having me on is really, really appreciated. And guys like Michael and Marcos and anybody that fights and comes out here and loves jiu-jitsu and spreads the word of jiu-jitsu, man, I really appreciate it. And make sure you check out our website, submissionseriespro.ca, and check out the live stream. And yeah, I guess thanks to my future wife. She's the best. She never. I'm like non-stop jiu-jitsu, so she listens and puts up with a lot. But in Hook Sweep, they've been a big help in BC Kimonos and Salmon Mats, and there's some other big sponsors out there too. But everything's really well, and coming looking for June 20th, and I'm pumped to have Michael out here and go from there. So thanks again to having me on.
Yeah, man, for
Awesome.
sure.
Thank you very much, guys. Before we wrap up, just a couple of logistical issues I wanted to talk, or logistical things I wanted to talk about. We've just made a couple little changes recently. Before we would post the YouTube video, just because of a kind of a shortcoming in the software that we were using. We posted it would be live. We'd have to take it down, edit it, repost it. So now the link that is active right now, if you're watching live, that link will stay, so it won't come back down. It'll be the same link, so we won't have to take it down, edit it, re-upload it. So we're going to look to make a number of kind of other enhancements in the next couple weeks, but we're just, we've got a bunch of feedback from people about, about not being able to see the links, so we're just trying to take everybody's feedback and make the experience better for everybody. So hopefully this is one thing that helps.
Yeah, and also, guys, we did just release our official Just the Gi Top t-shirts. You can check them out at justthegitop.com. Click there, order it, and all money will go towards my video game habit. So,
and your porn habit.
And no, that's all free now. You don't even work for that.
Hey, you gotta get on Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta get you guys your logo on the stream.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Yeah, we'll contact you, Kat, for sure.
Yeah,
and let's have you on again, man, before your next show in
September.
in July, September or whatever. I'll be there in person. The Mississauga one, I'll be there. I'll make sure to.
Yeah, it's funny. I was speaking to Adam. It's I think we might be we might have a job for all of you guys. So who knows what'll happen.
Awesome.
So.
Excellent.
All right, guys.
All right, thank you very much, guys, for coming on. Good luck, Michael. Good luck at Worlds. Good luck at the Submission Series Pro. Kat, good luck with the tournaments, and we'll be hearing a lot from both of you soon. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
God bless.
Steve.